Waymo driver has a really detailed understanding of where it is in the world and what is around it.
We are back with the big deal. This week, the company Waymo began dispatching robotaxis in 4 cities, bringing its fleet of self-driving cars to 10 major metropolitan areas. The expansion cities include Dallas and Houston and San Antonio in Texas, as well as Orlando in Florida. These robotaxis used by Waymo have already been transporting passengers in Phoenix and San Francisco, Los Angeles and Miami, Atlanta and Austin, Texas. Right now, Waymo's robotaxis will only be available to a limited number of riders in the new expansion cities. Spectrum News traffic anchor Jerry Hume has the details about what's going on in Orlando.
After months of mapping the streets of Orlando, Waymo, the driverless ride-hailing service, is now welcoming its first public riders. I was one of the first to take a ride in the autonomous vehicle on Tuesday.
It's a little weird at first to see, no one behind the wheel, the steering wheel doing all of the maneuvering here. But after a few minutes of navigating the roads, you can understand that this robotaxi is pretty smart.
Waymo will be covering 60 square miles in Orlando. The only hitch, no freeways and no access to the airport just yet. Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer was also one of the first to take a ride.
Very smooth. I felt extremely safe. Obeyed all the traffic laws. Felt more comfortable than a lot of people that I ride with.
Of course, there are concerns about crashes, and with 3,000 vehicles across 10 cities, there have been incidents involving Waymo. But the company says even in Orlando's ever-changing weather, its vehicles are safer than those with human drivers, never tired, impaired, or distracted.
We have 29 cameras, 6 radars, and 5 lidars. And we also have audio sensors on the vehicle that are listening for sirens. And so all of this information combines so that the Waymo driver has a really detailed understanding of where it is in the world and what is around it, and a more detailed understanding than what a human eyes and ears can understand and see.
Before rolling out service to everyone, Waymo is gradually inviting those who've downloaded the app and joined a waitlist to take the first rides in Orlando. Jerry Hume, Spectrum News.
Spectrum News traffic anchor Jerry Hume joins me now from the streets of Orlando with more on all of this. And Jerry, what is it like to actually get into one of these Waymo cars? Do you get greeted by like a robot voice? Do they play music for you?
You know, they do have some music in there, and you can actually select it based on your preferences. But it's kind of, Errol, like using your Uber or Lyft app. You use the Waymo app to call and hail that ride, and then it just shows up. Nobody inside, so it's a little weird. And then you use your app on the phone to unlock the car, and then you get inside and you hit a button and then you go. So it's pretty interesting that way. And as I mentioned, it's a little surreal when you see the wheels start to turn or to pass a vehicle in the streets of Orlando, especially if you're not used to it.
I noticed you had your seatbelt on. So now what is the process like for Waymo to launch in these big cities like Orlando? The mayor's on board, but he alone can't really approve their use on the street, right?
Right, yeah, and there are state regulations in place for that. But Waymo has been in Orlando for more than 10 months, or 6 months, I should say, and they've been testing, mapping out every street. So every street that Waymo will travel on, it's already been on, and so it knows where the potholes are or where the speed bumps are to kind of give a smooth ride. And so this has helped laying the groundwork, they hope, learning everything. The vehicles are constantly learning to expand to future cities, including New York, Boston, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Detroit, Tampa, and even overseas, Errol, to Tokyo and London, where it'll obviously have to learn how to drive on the opposite side of the road.
So now I understand, Jerry, there's a AAA survey that finds that 60% of Americans are actually scared of robotaxis. What's the safety story, and what are some of the concerns that experts have about how to make these things work properly and safely?
Well, yeah, Errol, Waymo says they do like 400,000 trips a week, and they're hoping to hit 1 million by the end of the year. So obviously there have been incidents. You have that many trips out there. There have been crashes. Just last month there was a child that was hit, minor injuries near a California elementary school. Feds are investigating that. Feds also investigating Waymo vehicles passing stopped school buses. That's been a big problem in Austin, in Texas. Waymo says they're constantly updating with software, but also every time something happens, it's learning, it's constantly learning, and that spreads to the other vehicles that it has. You know, there's always concerns. Yeah, we mentioned the weather in our piece there. They say they're ready for it, whether it's the snow up north that you're encountering or the hot or rainy conditions that we deal with here in Florida. And they say they've tested it in other cities that they've been in and also in simulated environments.
Okay. Now, of course, we have to mention there is competition here. Tesla and Amazon are testing their own autonomous driving vehicles in select cities. In Washington, D.C., meanwhile, the Senate Commerce Committee is looking at creating a national safety standard for self-driving cars. Here's what Waymo's chief safety officer said in January at a Senate committee hearing.
The U.S. needs a predictable, durable national regulatory framework that sets a high safety standard based on a safety case. Without it, we face a fragmented landscape of state regulations that foster uncertainty, slow investment, and create unequal access to the technology. To truly deliver on the promise of fully autonomous vehicles, we need federal leadership, and we need it in this Congress.
So now, Jerry, what would a national safety framework look like?
Yeah, Errol, well, for years, lawmakers have kicked around this idea of having some kind of national standards to preempt the patchwork of state laws. And it seems like the Self-Drive Act is really getting some traction this year, and that would create these national safety standards administered by the National Highway Safety Traffic Administration. And they would regulate everything from safety to cybersecurity to other commercial uses for the vehicles. So that is one of the big things that they're looking into right now. The whole goal here is to rapidly increase the number of autonomous vehicles on the streets in America to compete with the AV technology that's coming out of China.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for that update, Jerry Hume. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.